This is episode 3. Pigeon Party.
Episode 3.
Episode 3.
Real episode 3.
Yeah, real episode 3. Not like Jackass episode 3. You know what I mean? Like 2.5.
Well, they did the 2.5s and stuff. We're podcasting Jackass.
Yeah. But the 2.5 and the 3.5 are like behind the scenes ones, or like B-sides.
No, they're not. Yeah, they had so much footage that they just made 2 movies.
Right.
Because why not?
Yeah, why not?
I've just taken 3 sips in like 5 seconds.
I haven't done that because apparently, like, since we have the drinking game, we're trying to be polite.
Which Nat Rolf you haven't added to yet?
Ugh, that's unfortunate.
You said you would.
Mm.
Not a true fan.
David made me tea this time, which is very nice. I feel like I'm 7.
I'm converting him. What do you mean you feel like you're 7?
Because the only time I ever drank tea was when I was little, when I was sick. So.
Why?
It's good for you to have like a sore throat or something.
That's ridiculous. That doesn't make any sense.
It makes total sense. Because if you're like, if you have a sore throat or something, you want something warm to like, you know.
Why don't you just drink coffee then?
Why would I drink coffee if I was 7? Tea's a child's drink, is what I'm trying to tell you.
No, it's
You're
not.
a baby. You're a small human being.
So the whole entirety of Britain and like India.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I have nothing wrong with England or with India. It's just you. You drink it because you're a child. They drink it because it's a cultural thing.
Right.
You drink it because you like
because I'm sick
you're
all the
bottle
time?
fed. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
Enjoy that, you prick.
I like debated like spitting it out of my mouth, and I remember the mic was like right here. I was like, I'm not gonna soak that shit.
Yeah, damage that
Yeah.
Amazon microphone.
So if you haven't noticed already, really if you haven't, it's your own fault. We're not really dressed up this time. I mean, still a little bit. I've got the
It's that smart
blaze.
casual thing.
Yeah,
You know?
more casual.
I might wear this next time someone says smart casual and invite.
Yeah,
Like,
just
I'm
to
wearing a tie, dude.
kind of be sarcastic. Like smart casual. Like I get it. It's
Oh,
fine.
I'm casual but wearing a tie. Oh.
It's like it was like the Chick-Fil-A day, whenever like
Mm.
if you dress. So there was a day that Chick-Fil-A had where if you dress up like a cow, you
The
get a free
best day.
sandwich. I actually like cut out like little circular like
Obviously,
pieces of paper
Noah
on a white shirt. Shut
took
the fuck
it
up.
far too literally and decided to dress up in the most extra way humanly
I don't
possible.
see how following the
I'm gonna
directions,
insert the
how following
picture.
the directions is, you know, extra.
Okay, right here.
That was a dumb thing to do. It's just gonna take up the whole thing.
That's where. That's the picture. Noah will be on this side, and I'm on this side.
Yeah.
Comment in the section below who had the better outfit.
I'm gonna describe it also since this is a podcast. I was wearing a white shirt with little like black pieces of paper cut out as my spots, and then I had a bell around my neck. I had little horns, and I was a cow. Dave decided to just write, "I am a cow"
Yeah, but Noah, who
on a white shirt.
did we both get chicken sandwiches for free?
Yes,
And how much longer did it take for you to do your thing than it took me?
I actually finished before you,
But you also
that's a
started a
fact.
lot time before me as well.
which means I'm just better at planning than you are. So that says more about you than me. I mean, if I can get into full cow get up and really embody the character, and you can just like on
I mean,
the surface.
also, your outfit stopped you from winning extra free chicken, which I won.
My outfit had nothing to do with my poor.
So there was
hand-eye
a game.
coordination.
There was a game at Chick-Fil-A on Cow Appreciation Day where all the kids were playing it, and I was like, "All right, bitches, move over."
He said that to children.
The real homie is about to step up to the plate, and it was a throwing
Man,
game
if
as well.
that's how you
so-
actually talked.
Yeah, no, there might
The
actually,
real homie's about to step up to the plate. I'm gonna go give it a toss. All you little nippers out there, you better shove off, yeah? Fucking elbow you in the prick, yeah?
No,
Right.
no, but for real, I
Ugh.
was like, "Yo, move out the way," and there was like some Chinese man was like, "I want to go." I was like, "Nah."
That wasn't. That was offensive.
No, it wasn't. I was just like, "I want to go."
Okay.
Anyway,
you're just, you know, you have this like power over me because you won 2 sandwiches and I only won 1.
Mm.
That had nothing to do with the fact that I had a
anyway,
paper bell.
you had to
around my
throw like was it a ball?
neck. Yeah.
Yeah, we had to throw a ball, like a tennis ball or something, through a hole. Like that was like what, 10 feet away? Maybe not even that. Like 7 or 8.
7 or 8, I think.
And
Just
you
more
got 3
aggressive than
tries. Noah didn't get it.
I was rushing. I was too
I
excited
got it on
at
the third and final try, mainly because my stakes were so high because I had no money for like a month.
Right. Oh, okay. Yeah. It's pretty
So
fair
I needed
answer.
to eat. It was like that moment where it was all in slow-mo.
Shout out to Victor, my roommate. He gets real upset every time I touch my blazer or we sip too much, so we're going to just kind of pick that up a little bit. Also for the drinking game, 'cause that's exciting.
I feel like I don't scratch my nose that much.
No,
I feel like
I've never noticed. Like, when that rule was listed off, I was kind of like, huh, I didn't notice you did that much.
No, me neither. Maybe I do, I just don't know it.
I have the worst habits because I'm a terrible person.
Whoa.
What if I just got real deep and started crying? It's like, that's just the way I am.
Yeah.
Throwing it back to what I was saying a while ago, the reason we're so dressed down like this is we're going to be talking about music and bands today. So we decided, it was actually David's idea, to wear band t-shirts. Mine's kind of hard to see.
What are you wearing, Noah?
It's
Excuse me, sir. What are you wearing?
well, I'm actually wearing Of Mice and Men.
Hey, before they went rogue.
Well, yeah, before everything happened with that band. Yeah, this is the first like hard metal band I ever listened to. I bought this shirt at the first concert I saw them at. And what are you wearing? Nice. What are you wearing, sir?
Well, very quickly. Hey, Laurie. This is your mug. Not anymore.
Oh, Laurie?
Laurie, yeah. Oh. This is the one I took from her room.
Oh.
She left it. Not my fault.
She pointed that out.
Do not care about it, mate.
He don't care, yeah? You see that?
No, I do not care.
He do not care. That's a laugh, yeah.
Fucking donut.
He's having a giggle over there, yeah.
Speaking of donuts.
Yeah.
Karina bought us Trejo's donuts the other
day.
Shout
out, Karina. We don't know if you're ever going to watch this.
Yeah.
Because she's
always like, oh, guys,
I'll watch it.
Then she doesn't. She's like, oh, no. Yeah. Like, yeah.
We're calling you out right now. We might even put this in the trailer.
And also,
just so you see it.
Neither Noah or I won the Billboard thing. Bulletin board.
That's fair though. No. I liked
Ridiculous.
I liked the idea.
We all should have won.
Yeah, but that's. Do you really want like a participation trophy?
No, it's not a participation trophy if you all win.
Yeah, it is, because then there's no winner.
That's not. That's just saying it's like a draw.
Ooh, those are exciting. They're not ever. Not one thing. If it's been a UFC fight, a soccer match, has it ever like won a draw and I've been like, wow, that was interesting?
Wait, fights can end in a draw?
Yep.
That's bullshit.
So if they go, yeah, well, no, because split decision is like if they go the full time and they're like a split decision win is like it takes to the end of the time for them to decide. There is like an actual draw where if all the points are even, it rarely ever, it happens a lot less often than like a no contest.
Oh, so that's when they have like the numbers, the 3 numbers.
Right, yeah, and if they, I can't remember, was it? I feel like it was Frankie Edgar, and one of the other guys he fought ended in a. That was like the first camera look I've ever seen. That's usually something I do furiously throughout the entire time.
Ooh. But yeah, I am wearing a Don Broco t-shirt.
Love that band.
Hey guys, you won't be watching, but.
That'd be sick.
They're a great band. They
Rob just messaged you?
Stem from Bedford, the OG town in good old England. Rob and Matt went to BMS. And so did Cy, I think, actually. Cool. I think Rob, Matt, and Cy went to BMS. Bedford Modern School. The best school in the entirety of the UK. Maybe even the world.
Well, you know what you remind me of right now? Who's in the Office? What's his name?
I don't know. You brought it up.
Oh, he's always bringing up what college he went to.
Now he looks stupid.
I don't look stupid. No, everybody knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway,
Andy?
We're past it. Anyway,
bugging the shit out of me now.
Don Broco, great guys.
Went to Cornell or something.
Great band.
Yeah, they are. It's a great band. David introduced me to them. I love them to death. As people too.
New album coming out probably next year.
I mean, that's
they're in the middle of recording it.
Not really your decision. So
I mean,
whenever you guys want to release it,
it probably will be next year.
I mean, but that's whenever you.
Because when
bands, I mean, whenever.
You're such a piece of shit.
I am wearing a shiny jacket, so.
You have been for the past 3 episodes as well.
Cool, and it took to the second episode for you to say something. You were like, "You look nice," and I was like, "I'm wearing exactly the same thing I wore the first time."
Was that 2?
That was 2.
Oh,
you don't remember your own podcast.
Hey, they're long.
Yeah, they are. But hey,
What the fuck was that?
That was like
Yeah, they are.
that was kind of like an innuendo, like, yeah, they are. You know what I mean? Like a sexual innuendo.
I know what that is.
Like size, yeah.
I do speak the common tongue.
Oh, the fact he's...
As they say in
poor taste in my
Game
mouth.
of Thrones. Speaking of which, fucking Game of Thrones.
Oh, if you don't want spoilers, keep watching. Yeah. That was crazy.
What a fucking final episode. Jesus. Now I just...
They sure bent the knee. You know what I mean.
That one missed. Big time.
Way gone. Bye. Gone just like one of Danny's dragons.
You mean she bent the knee?
They both did. They were bending knees and slapping booty.
Yeah, a lot of people went crazy over Jon Snow's ass. To be fair, he does have a nice ass.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Shout out Jon Snow.
His name's not Jon Snow anymore. It's
like Aegar Targaryen or whatever?
Aegon Targaryen, I think his name is.
Which is pretty close to what I said. You could disagree with.
You said Aegard. That's just stupid.
Why are you holding your tea like that?
Fuck you.
You like that guy from a Scary Movie. My germs.
Anyway, yeah. So, music.
Music.
Don Broco stemmed from BMS, OG ones.
There, went to school again. Cool, we know. You went there.
Well, I guess we should start off by... 11 minutes in, we still haven't talked about... We were going to talk about a classic.
That's okay.
Fuck
B-dubs. Throwback. Last episode.
If you watched it, thank you so much.
I will address the fact this is a huge mug.
Don't fucking drop it this time again.
I didn't. I caught that shit like fucking Jet Li, man.
It's not like it like flew up in the air. You were like, ah!
Yeah, and I caught it. Is there a problem?
I mean, I hope not. Anyway, I guess we should start out by me asking, what's your favorite genre of music?
My favorite genre of music? Well, in middle school, it used to be rap. But right now, oh yeah, I went through like a whole Lil Wayne, Jay-Z, and the reason I started listening to it is this is how I was as a kid.
The whitest, gingerest kid, like skinniest, fucking.
Here's how it
martial
started.
arts wielding wigger.
You definitely can't say that.
Yeah, you can.
So back to what I was saying. It started when I was going to like New York on like a 7th grade school trip, and I thought I was like Empire State of Mind, Jay-Z, and I got that whole album and I listened to it. It's still my favorite rap album, but now
There's
my
some good
favorite,
songs in there.
yeah, they're all good. My favorite genre of music is definitely like hard rock, metal, screamo, as you uncultured people would call it.
Yeah, I mean,
it's aggravating.
You know, I'm gonna burp again. Whoa, that happens like at least like once an episode.
Crazy. You burp?
Yeah, I've got another one coming. I kept that one in.
Cool.
That's probably a more subtle one on the mic.
That was horribly disgusting.
Sorry. Yeah, I mean, I would agree with you. Like right now, my favorite genre is definitely rock. I've gone through like a lot of music phases in my life. Like growing up, the first album I ever bought was American Idiot by Green Day, who are to this day still my favorite band in the universe.
Yeah.
Learned all the words to that. Listened to it in my Walkman every day on the way to school.
Wow, Guardians of the Galaxy, cool.
Yeah, for real. And yeah, I like when you used to like take the artwork out on the inside and read the lyrics and stuff. Yeah, I used to do that. That was fun. And then to be honest, I kind of went for like a mini rap phase, but like that's because like every
like Stormzy?
12, 13, no, every like 12, 13-year-olds listens to
Rude
Eminem.
Boy. Yeah.
But shut up.
Rude Boy, shut up.
Yeah, they all listen to Eminem, so like everyone knows the lyrics to Lose Yourself. You're right there.
Yeah, I was scratching my leg.
Like a dog.
I'm scratching, bro. Scratching.
Yeah, and then moved swiftly on to rock again. Listening to like Black Veil Brides and all that kind of stuff. Went through my emo phase.
Yeah.
That was fun.
See, I went through like an emo music phase, but I never went like to the emo like look.
Oh, I did.
I didn't.
I mean, it wasn't like extreme. I would just say.
I mean, you dyed your hair orange.
First of all,
you better put that picture in there.
First of all, it wasn't orange. It was red. It was Gerard Way red.
Which was orange.
No, it wasn't. during his Danger Days album, it was bright red. It was like this color.
But that's not the picture you showed me.
No, but that's because it was faded, and it was
okay.
at that point it was
Fair
like
enough.
pink.
Fair enough.
And it was at Reading. I was very hungover.
They just had that, didn't they?
Yeah, it's just finished.
Eminem headlined one of the days.
Yeah, I've seen him play Reading. I saw him headline there one year. It was fucking awesome. But yeah, do you know what happened during his set, actually? During his set, some nutter climbed up on one of the lighting rigs that's like 20 feet in the air.
What, when you saw him?
No. This time. It was like 25 feet in the... Actually, no, I think it might be like 41 feet like in the air. And he was just dangling off of it. And then he didn't get down because he was too scared. I was like...
Well, you made the journey. Might as well make it more interesting.
Yeah,
when you get
like,
up there.
what the heck? So he was up there for ages. And there was this one like, meme of Jay-Z. Like, you know, when he's like... he's looking over there, he's like, and then it was like me trying to enjoy Eminem while like kids at the top of there, and they're like,
I love the LeBron one like that, where he's like,
yeah, he's like, what?
Yeah.
But yeah, rock music. Reading Festival was the first festival I went to, which is so cool. It's awesome.
Never been to a festival.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you'd like it. I know you'd like the music.
I would like a festival.
It's very...
Think about how, like, I am.
Yeah, that's true, but it's very... I mean, okay, so this is how festivals are in England. This is Reading Festival in a nutshell in England.
Mm-hmm.
It's... How many days is it? It's, I want to say 6 days or 5 days. It's 5 or 6 days where basically you buy an early bird pass. That's what everyone does, pretty much. Mm-hmm. You take your tent, you take like a week's worth of clothes and a shit ton of alcohol, and then you travel to a field in the middle of Reading. I'm going to burp again. Jesus Christ. Excuse me.
You're horrible.
Travel to a field in the middle of Reading, and then there's no music for the first 2 days. The first 2 days, you're literally just eating food, drinking alcohol, and pissing around. Like, doing absolutely... And, like, if you're so inclined, people take a lot of drugs there as well. I do not personally do that. I just drink. Because in England...
The safer choice.
Yeah, because in England, you know, drinking age is 18, so naturally everyone starts drinking at 15. The first year I went to Reading, I was 16, I think.
Okay.
And then I went for 3 years. So last time I went, I was 18. But yeah, it's fucking great laugh. And then just crazy shit happens. Like one year, it was pissing it down with rain. So some guy just took his clothes off and was just like sprinting around. He was like had like 50 stewards chasing after him, and they were all stacking it. It was great. Good laugh.
I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. That was an aggressively British story you told me, especially the last part with the stewards, and it was having a laugh and you're pissing on me. It was a lot to take in. So what I'm guessing you were trying to say was, before Queen Elizabeth just kind of rear naked choked your tongue, was that he got naked. He was being chased by the security of the venue, and they tackled him, and it was quite funny, which is why it was a laugh.
Yeah, basically.
Cool.
Why don't you just leave my stories alone, okay?
I can't. You never leave my stories alone. If I mess up once, your eyes squint and you go, that wasn't right. All right. Yeah.
No, but yeah, so you do that for 2 days, and then the 3 days after that are 3 days of music. There's like 5 or 6 different stages, where you have the main stage, which has like the headliners on and stuff, but then you have like the enemy tent, you have Festival Republic stage, you have just so many cool like places, and each venue is normally specific to a kind of music. So like a lot of like the edgier stuff will be on the enemy stage. Like Don Broco played there a couple of times. They also played the BBC introducing stage when they were first starting out. They played the main stage a couple of times, which has been really cool to see that. Yeah, it's amazing music. And one year I saw so many bands, I worked it out, it was like £2 per band I saw.
Damn. Which
is really, because the ticket's £200, which is like $250, which is really good, like when you think about it, especially for the 3 days plus camping as well. You normally take about 100 quid with you for food and alcohol.
100 squids?
Yeah.
That's currency?
Quid.
Squids.
No.
Say it slow?
I'm not going to.
You said squids.
But yeah, I mean, rock music for me has always been the most, I want to say interesting, but that's not really the word I want to use. It's been like, what the fuck? Oh, Victor's ringing me.
He literally just called me. I closed my phone.
No, it's not happening, mate.
Shout out, Victor. Don't call us while we're doing this.
He's gonna knock on the door. You know that.
It's gonna make me so mad if he does.
Yeah, it's always been the kind of every single time I listen to it, I'm enjoying it. It doesn't matter what mood I'm in or whereabouts. It's also the most diverse, in my opinion. You can have so many different kinds of rock music.
Yeah.
That all kind of stem from a similar source.
Mm.
So like, and it changes, varies from country to country. Like American rock music is incredibly different to British rock music.
Right.
Like American rock music, aside from like metal, is very like all-time lowy.
Nah.
You don't think so?
I think no.
There's a lot of like pop punk in America.
There is a lot of pop punk, but that's not like, and it's so tough too when people start talking about like the different genres and rock and metal because it's so specific.
Mm-hmm.
I would say this might be a bad example, but like a lot of rock is very similar to like Trivium and like Metallica. Like that's harder rock, but that's kind of essentially like what rock has evolved from. Whether it was like AC/DC.
But they're not American.
No.
I'm talking about American rock.
Just like American bands?
Yeah. So like I would say that the majority of popular American rock bands are pop punk.
Yeah.
You wouldn't say so?
No. Because even though they're popular, they're not exactly the chart-topping rock bands.
True, but okay, so British rock music is, I mean, in my opinion, it's my favorite genre of rock, just purely because it's very progressive. Mm-hmm. Like, and also each band that I really follow from the UK, Don Broco, Lone Atlantis, Death of Anna, they're like the three biggest UK rock bands for me. They're the ones I've seen live the most. Mm-hmm. Every single thing they put out, whether it's a song or an album, is so vastly different to the last one, and that for me is probably my kind of number one from a band.
Is to
I hate it when bands just put out the same shit over and over and over again. I want a different sound each time.
But I feel like that's a double-edged sword because if a band has a sound, what's tiptoeing the line between just being repetitive and then changing too much?
Well, I don't think you can change too much as a band. Obviously, if you change like full like genre, then it's kind of like, but at the same time, it's like how much kind of because a band is obviously a band because of their fans, right? And so you have to give value to them, but at the same time, it's like, do you stunt their creative flow by saying, hey, you put out, because this exact thing happened with Lone Atlantis. Lone Atlantis put out Changing Tune, which was their first album when they signed to Island Records, which is like one of the biggest records in the world, record companies. They signed to them, and then Island Records were like, yo, you have a year to make an album. Mm-hmm. Go. And so they tried their best, and like it was still a really good album, but I know that they weren't really happy with it because they were constrained by record labels' wants and needs and what they had to sound like, all this kind of stuff. And Mike Juice has openly said, he was like, yo, we didn't think we wanted to carry on as a band after that. So they then went away for ages. They left the record company. They went away for ages. They built their own studio, and they made Lone Atlantis. They made it a self-titled album because they felt like that was them.
Okay.
But they got so much shit for it. Like, so much shit. People were like, fuck you, Lone Atlantis, you're too different, you're like changing your sound way too much. Like, because it wasn't pop by any standard, but it was more towards the pop side of things. It wasn't just straight guitarist the whole time. There was electronic stuff in there, there was poppier riffs, like all this kind of stuff, and it was just a really flowing album in my opinion, and I fucking loved that. Yeah, it was different to the past 3 albums they made, but my favorite thing about Lone Atlantis is you can tell which songs are from which album. Yeah. Because they're so different, but at the same time they have the core Lone Atlantis feel, whether it's the lyrics, whether it's Mike Juice's voice, whether it's like Eddie on the drums, it has that core thing, and that to me is the most important thing. Yeah. Is like retaining that like essence of who you are as a band. Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's why a lot of, I guess, American metal bands get a lot of hate. Just quoting an example of Mice and Men, they started out with a very specific sound. And obviously, there's been a lot of lined-up changes as far as like getting a new singer, and then Austin leaving the band for health reasons.
Yeah, that's really sad.
But I know they were getting a lot of hate recently, before he left anyway, for not like having that same aggressive sound. But I think people forget sometimes, one, they're evolving as people and they're growing up a lot, because a lot of those bands when they start are like in their early 20s, like even teens.
Well, yeah, a lot of rock bands are normally younger.
And even that, but I mean, you can't scream forever.
Oh, fuck
and I
no.
think people, and I mean, look at Ollie Sykes.
I was about to say Ollie Sykes, yeah. And
he's singing a lot more now, but if he kept up what he was doing, I mean, his voice is still like destroyed. There's some exceptions.
The
like
guy from While She Sleeps had to have a bunch of surgery as well.
Really?
Yeah.
See, and then I feel like there's some exceptions though, like because the guy from Whitechapel, I can't remember his name. He's insane.
Yeah.
Like, and he.
Well, it's Sam from Architects. How the hell he does the?
No, we saw him live. Because that's something that kind of bugs me is when I see a band play and they can't sing their own songs. Like, especially if they're screaming. I've never
understood that.
And if they take too many pauses, that irritates me. When we saw Architects, that didn't happen
fucking songs
once. And they sounded better than they sounded on the album.
They were awesome. They were really, I mean, like, I got kicked in the head during Straight from the Path set, which was a really good fucking set, to be fair. Yeah. Some guy front flipped off the stage and smacked me right on the top of my eyebrow. Yeah. I'll insert a picture.
Pits are crazy.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that. I know you have feelings.
Yeah, I mean, I forget what I was going. But yeah, Sam from Architects, his voice is incredible, and it keeps going as well, which I think is really impressive.
And it's so, I think it's so impressive when, as like a screamer, someone can have so many like levels, because usually they have like one sound when they scream, and they might get a little bit lower. But when he does it, he has so many. He has such a range.
You know what? They're like, Architects are probably one of the only. Like, there's a few, but it's rare for me to like a band which is pure scream. Mm-hmm. My favorite thing is like the Asking Alexandria kind of thing, where they merge.
You're talking like early.
Yeah, like the...
So not like from Death to Destiny.
No, I'm talking...
Which was good in its own way.
Like, what was the fucking...
Stand Up and Scream.
Called? Yeah, so like that kind of album, that kind of era of Asking Alexandria, where they mix the melodies with scream. I love that shit because it just gives such a nice kind of balance to the song. Yeah. But Architects, Straight from the Path, I really like as well, because like his vocals are kind of... They're more shouty than screamy. Yeah. But I really like his voice anyway, and their stage presence was insane.
It's hard to find bands like that, and I think so much of those bands is the live performance, because obviously there's going to be those people that are like, I love this when I listen to it, or I hate it because there's screaming. And actually, it was Danny from Asking Alexandria. He said a quote that like stuck with me. He's like, I'm sure maybe
he's a bit of a douche in real life.
I mean, I've heard he's getting better, but when I saw them live, I was kind of like, ugh.
Yeah.
But he was like, people don't come to listen to the music. It's all about the show. And honestly, like when I saw Ghost for the first time, which is like an amazing band, I wasn't really sure if I liked their music. When I saw them, still to this day, they put on the best live show of any band I've ever seen.
That's cool. Yeah. Best live band I've ever seen is Green Day. Green Day or Biffy Clyro. I saw Biffy Clyro headline at Reading Festival once, and their Simon's stage presence is crazy.
I've seen live videos. I love that band.
Their just whole kind of thing that they do is just really, really cool. They've got it down to like a perfection.
What's the most intense band you've seen live?
Intense in what regard?
As far as like a mix of crowd participation, their stage presence, all that stuff.
You know, actually, probably in terms of intensity is like an interesting word, but like I would say the most fun I've ever had was when I saw Skindred live.
Oh, they're good.
Skindred, Benji Webb is one of the best workers of a crowd I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. Like, if you haven't ever heard of Skindred, Google them. Just YouTube them and listen to Rat Race.
Rat Race. That was the one you showed me.
99% sure you won't like it, but...
You will.
There'll be some of you out there who do like it, and it's reggae rap metal. It's so good. But yeah, they do this thing called the Newport Helicopter the Newport helicopter. Where basically, because they're from Wales. They're from Wales and the UK. They're a British band. And they're from Newport. And basically they started this thing where during one of their songs, normally it's Warning, they get everyone in the crowd to take off an item of clothing, normally like your t-shirt or something. And then at the drop, he basically tells everyone to hold it in the air, and then at the drop, he'll go, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then everyone just swings it in the air. And if the whole crowd does it, it looks incredible. And like you're so hyped when you're doing it. And it was the coolest thing I've ever seen. Yeah. And I went to go and see them by myself at Reading, actually.
Oh, wow.
And I came out of it, I was like, yo, that was so much fun. And normally like I have more fun when I'm with other people.
Yeah.
Just because you can like share that experience. But that was like awesome.
Yeah.
In terms of like intensity of like physicality and stuff would be the Straight from the Path concert. Yeah. Just because, I mean, we may as well get onto it. That was the first gig I'd experienced in the US. Yeah. And then you'd warned me before what some of the moshes are like. Right. Okay,
well, this is something that scares a lot of people off from going to metal and rock shows is the mosh pits and stuff. Now, I think there's a common misunderstanding that you have to participate in these things, and you totally don't. Like, I've heard from people, they're like, you don't have to do that stuff, right? And I'm like, no, of course you don't have to, but it happens. Right. And it's obviously a lot worse here as far as, like, what dumb people do.
Yeah, so my experiences from it before were in England, a mosh pit is literally, someone opens a pit, and then whoever wants to go in, that you have no like obligation to go into it. Whoever wants to will just go in there and just bounce off each other, basically. You like push each other around and stuff, but it's never to hurt anyone. I always call it organized chaos. Right. Because like you're all just like going fucking mental, but if anyone falls down or anyone hurts themselves, everyone stops, picks them up. You okay, dude? Yeah, we're fine. Okay, Karen, just push them back again. And then I came here and I was like, yeah, I'm really like hyped to see Architects. You were like, okay, just so you know, you get these people in mosh pits in the US. What did you call them? Like,
so they're called. It's funny because a lot of the stuff you said about how like helping pick people up. That's almost every pit experience I've had where someone falls. Yeah. Everybody makes a wall. And
one time at Reading, a friend of mine lost his shoe, and then someone just goes shoe, and then everyone just fucking scattered, stopped, let him put his shoe back on, and it was like, you good, man? It was like, yeah, and they just started again. It was crazy.
See, people don't understand that kind of like family vibe. Like we can get into that too, but like of just like in the pit, like there's like a care. However, there are people, and I absolutely hate it. I don't know when it became a thing. Hardcore dancers, and they're the guys who are in the pit throwing elbows, swinging their arms, kicking, and just like, trying to hit people.
They're just swinging around.
And the funny thing is, some people show up. Some people show up just to do that. Which
pissed me off like big time. Yeah. I was like, yo, I don't want to go in.
Yeah, they ruin the whole experience for everyone. The bands don't like it when people. I mean, there's probably certain bands who are like, kill everybody, like Behemoth or something like that, or fucking Bring Me the Horizon.
Yeah, well,
he said some shit that made me like fear for my life. Did I tell you about this? No. When I saw Bring Me the Horizon, that whole show was crazy because Let Live opened, and they're one of the most. They were one of the most intense live bands ever. He was throwing speakers, pulling curtains. He was in a circle pit with the mic, and he was singing in the circle pit.
That's cool.
I met him afterwards. Nicest dude ever. But Bring Me the Horizon, they had. I can't remember. This was right after Sempiternal came out.
Such a good album.
Yeah, and I had. I was there for Of Mice and Men, but I really enjoyed Bring Me the Horizon. I was in the pit, things had calmed down. It was just after a song, and he was like, okay, we're going to play kind of a softer song right now. I want everyone to sit down on the ground. We're just going to listen to this song. And everyone's like, cool. That like I've never experienced that at a show before. We sit down, and then they kick into Go to Hell for Heaven's Sake, which is not a soft song at all. And he was like, kill everyone. And then people were standing up getting kicked while they were sitting down on the ground.
Oh my God.
And he's like, wasn't that fucking fun? And I was like, no, I wasn't at all. No. I was terrified.
Yeah, see, like that's like the thing which I don't agree with that. I can see why they do it because it's like, it's a...
I heard Motionless in White has some unreal crowd participation. Not like intense, but like...
Just people doing shit. Yeah. But yeah, I mean like... That's the reason why I think a lot of people get scared off by like rock music in general is because they think it has this negative connotation attached to it.
They go to like Slayer, they go to like Behemoth, where it's like legitimate like Satan worshipping crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Shit.
Like, rock music has always had this negative connotation attached to it. Like just like because it's such an easy target. When you're singing about things that aren't necessarily like PC, then you're automatically a target. Like Marilyn Manson is obviously the biggest example of that.
Who's a genius?
He is. I genuinely think he is actually a genius because he's actually a prime example of each album is so fucking different, but it's still Marilyn Manson.
But it's got a through line. That's him.
Exactly. But
if you haven't read his biography, sorry. You got me a copy of it, and I absolutely loved it. If you haven't read Marilyn Manson's biography...
If you don't like Marilyn Manson, I recommend you read that book.
It'll change your perspective
it's called,
on a lot of things.
The Long, Hard Road Out of Hell. It's not very long. It's maybe like a couple of 100 pages. But it's interesting the whole way through, in my opinion. And he is so open that if something happened, he's like, yeah, this fucking happened. Even some stuff you probably don't know that happened. He's like, yo, this happened. But then he'll be like, this didn't happen, but everyone said it did.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, like in terms of accessibility, I think is people's biggest issue with rock music. But I would say, I keep going on about it, but like British rock music is a really good in for people. Like if you've never listened to them before, I genuinely would recommend listening to Don Broco because I know so many people who don't like rock music but like Don Broco. They got to number 5 in the UK charts, which is really high. Like,
it's disappointing how they don't have as big of a following over here as I would hope they would.
Well, actually, they played their first show in LA recently because they just signed to an American record label. They played their first show in America. I went to go and see them. It was really awesome. They didn't have like that long a set. They were supporting state champs, which was crazy because like they were very bottom of the billing.
Yeah.
And yet they're headlining Ali Pali, which is like one of the biggest and best music venues in England in November.
Yeah.
And they have a huge following in the UK and in Europe. But over here, no one knows who they are. I was in the middle of the crowd while it was the support act, which no one normally cares about that much. I was singing every single word, and Rob saw me, obviously, and he was like, yeah, I could see you in there just singing along. But definitely check them out. Listen to like their Automatic album is probably the best one to listen to, which is their last album. It was their biggest one.
But I feel like the recent singles people would really vibe with, especially Technology.
Technology is an interesting one. Like it's very different to a lot of their stuff, but yeah, it's grown on me like crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, listen to them, and then, I'd be interesting to hear what people's perspectives are in the comments on like Marilyn Manson and just rock music in general and how they feel about it.
Because the thing that always comes up is like, oh, it sounds cool, but I just can't understand what they're saying. And I always thought that was kind of a weird argument because a lot of people listen to music that's either in another language or even like reggae sometimes. It can be pretty hard to understand. But like, I think it's just the aggression. And I think personally for me, the reason I like the aggression side of it so much is because it's a lot like Marilyn Manson is people will see it for what it is right off the bat and they'll be like, I don't fuck with that at all. And when most of the time, especially Architects is one of those bands where if you had never listened to metal music before and you heard an Architects song, you'd be like, I hate this.
Yeah.
But then if you read the lyrics on its own,
you'd like
it's amazing. They have a song called The Devil Is Near, which is when you hear like a heavy metal song called The Devil Is Near, you're like,
oh god,
I don't fuck with that at all.
This is the one about C?
This is the one. So they support an organization called Sea Shepherd, which is one of the organizations I support the most, which is combating like overfishing and really protects the ocean. That song is about that, and it's talking about like whaling. The song is about like someone like kills a mother whale in front of its baby, and like it's like this vicious song, and it's so like emotional. They have another one called Match Made in Heaven, which is a very political song about the casualties of war.
Oh damn!
As far as like collateral, like civilians that are killed during war, where it's addressed as kind of, well, that's what happens during war, and it shouldn't be like that. I suggest if you don't like the genre of music at all, that's fine. I suggest you just read the lyrics, and the reason that I think that's so important is because it's just like an outlet for that, and people get so scared by the screaming and the heavy vocals that they're not willing to dive in and look at the at what it is as a whole.
Oh yeah, I mean, rock music is to me one of the biggest reasons I love it is because of the lyrics. Like the main reason I just don't kind of get along with a lot of mainstream music is because it's so basic
Yeah.
in terms of like lyrics and stuff. I mean, like fucking Nicki Minaj. Like, I appreciate her as an artist, but at the same time, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this has no, in my opinion, no real artistic merit.
There's this exceptions in every genre. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of metal bands that have no substance to what they're screaming about.
Yeah. But, I mean, just music in general, for me, my biggest thing, I love all kinds of music. Like, all kinds of music I'll listen to. I love rap music. I love pop music. Sometimes I like country music. I grew up with John Denver literally played in my fucking earlobes 24 hours a day because my mum is the biggest John Denver fan you'll ever meet in your whole entire life.
Shut up.
I know all the words to John Denver songs, for real.
Shut up.
But yeah, I mean, my favorite artist right now is Maggie Rogers. She's a goddess.
Yeah.
And if you've never listened to her, please do yourself a favor and listen to her right now. I don't even care if you stop watching this podcast, and we're nearly done anyway. But
I mean, we can keep going.
She is an amazing woman. She's amazing live. She has the voice of an angel. Her stage presence is insane. And all of her songs have such a deep meaning to them that you can't help but like it. You can't help but love it because you can tell that her music is her art and her way of expressing herself. And it's so obvious in all of her music that you literally feel it. And I'm going to put a link in the description of this video to a podcast she recently did on someone else's channel. I've forgotten what it is. But she sits down for about 40 minutes and talks about her song Alaska, which is like her biggest.
Oh, I love it.
Her biggest song.
Yeah, I didn't like it at first, I'm going to be honest, and then it grew on me.
Yeah, I mean, I fucking love her, but she sits down and talks about where that song comes from contextually, and it's really fascinating. It's really cool.
I'm curious because this is something I feel like it's very hard for me to find an album as a whole that I like all of the songs because there's obviously some that are hits, there's some that resonate with you personally, but I find sometimes there's always one or two songs where I'm like, I tend to skip through it more. What would you say is the one album, like as an entirety, as an art piece, you enjoy the most as a whole album?
American Idiot.
American Idiot?
100%. Just because that album speaks for itself. I mean, it's infamous, especially in the US, just because it had such controversy around it. But yeah, I mean that album is. I mean, it's a rock opera technically, because it has a through line. It has a storyline through it. But every single one of the songs on that album is just, they're all so different, but like as a single song, they're all perfect in my opinion. They're so good. Sure, I have my favorites on it, but at the same time, when I listen to that album, I generally tend to want to listen to the whole thing.
Right.
And that speaks volumes to me. What about you?
I would say, so it's weird because I've always been like a very heavy like rock person. Originally, I would have said something like The Flood by Of Mice and Men because that got me through that got me through high school. Like that got me through some really rough times. Then it was what was it? Reincarnate, Motionless in White's album, just because I thought it was very diverse. But I've never had an album impact me or a band even as a whole impact me as much as Paris has. PVRIS, spelled a little different. But when their first album, White Noise, came out in 2014, I had never had something like lyrically, especially, but also like aesthetically impact me the way that did. And their new album came out this past week.
I still need to listen to that, actually.
And I think, honestly, like, as a whole, it's just even better than their first album. And I think both of their albums, White Noise and All We Know of Heaven, All We Need of Hell, it's kind of a long name, both of those albums are something I could listen to repeatedly. There was a song I was telling you about earlier on the newest one, Anyone Else, where Lynn posted this long thing about how this song has like a special meaning to her, and she doesn't know if anybody else will feel it, but just like the just so much raw emotion, and they just have this through line through all of them, and it's just like it's a powerful experience listening to this, especially when you know the backstory on some of this, and I think the lyrics are very important as well.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, that was an interesting conversation.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that. It wasn't one of our funnier ones, but I loved it. It was good chat.
Absolutely.
Let us know, what you feel about what we said in regards to, we pretty much talked almost exclusively about rock music, but that's because it's our favorite, and fuck you if you don't like it.
And we could talk about it for like 3 hours if we want.
No, yeah, let us know. We genuinely love reading your comments. Thank you to everyone who's commented so far and just engaged with us on social media and all that kind of stuff. We have our Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and things. I'll leave links to those in the descriptions and stuff as well. But just please keep commenting. Please keep liking our videos. If you didn't like it, give it a dislike because we want to know.
Let us know why.
Yeah.
Don't just hate. Just let us know.
But yeah, I get so many messages from people, and I'm like, yo, comment on the video because it's really cool to have people engage. And if you want to talk about someone in the comments, do that.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add?
Yeah, I know a lot of times we'll get questions of when are you guys doing a SoundCloud? That's an upcoming thing. So
we're gonna do it eventually. Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, thank you guys so much. We really enjoyed doing this. We have a lot of stuff lined up in the future for things we're going to talk about.
Next one's going to be fun.
Next one's going to be very fun. Be kind of a throwback for us. I mean, we've only done 3 episodes, so we can't really say throwback. But thank you so much for the support. We're
nearly at 60 subscribers. So we hit our goal. We hit our 50 goal. So next goal is 100.
100. How many views do we have on the first one, on the first podcast?
Let me check real quick.
It's a lot. It's surprising.
So we have 313 views on the first one.
That's insane.
Oh shit, we're at 60 subscribers.
60.
Yeah, nice.
While we spoke. That's insane.
Subscribers. That's really cool. Thank you so much to everyone who's viewed, subscribed, all that kind of stuff. If you haven't subscribed, do it fucking right now.
Please.
And I think we should leave with that.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. See you the next one. Keep partying. Au revoir. Good night.
Running off over next door's garden before the hour is done. It's more a question of feeling than it is a question of fun. The confidence is the balaclava, I'm sure you'll baffle them good. With the ending reek of salty cheeks and runny makeup alone. Or we'll put a run down the face of a boy bewildered and scorned.